Okay, to have these changes, I have to assign this data frame to something else, some other data frame. Okay, and if I do this, it is doing the changes, it is removing that work location. But I don't want to assign it. I want to do the changes in this data frame only. Getting my point? I don't want to add like I don't want to use this equal to method and all. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll simply I can use this in place means इसी data frame में I want to do the changes. In place is equal to true. When I say in place is equal to true, we'll do the changes in the same DB. You got it? Still not clear?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Okay, Atul got it. Okay, fine. Okay. So axis means what? Axis means whether you want to drop the row or column. We are dropping what? Column. So axis we can give 1, or else you can say, if it is confusing, you can say directly columns. Okay. I want to drop the column. Okay. So it's a column or columns. I'm not sure. Let's try. Okay. Yeah, it's working. You can give the columns. If you want to drop the row, you can say got it. And this is the mandatory one. We should provide what we want to drop. Okay. Yeah. And I was talking about the copy. While doing this, like I want to copy the data frame. Okay. So this one is there. Okay. So this is the existing data frame. Okay. How many times we are printing? I don't want to print multiple times. Just have it as a comment. Fine. This is what a data frame is. I want to create a copy of it. How I can create a copy? I want to create a new, like if I say pandas data frame is equal to emp information is equal to emp data something. Print new line, comma, just print this employee information. Okay. So it will work, right? Yes or no? So employee information, it is creating the copy and it is exactly similar to what this one. Correct?
So memory location of both the data frame will be same or different?
It will be same in this case.
So
If I say
if I do the changes in of my first data frame, then automatically it will be
Sir,
replicated in another as well, right?
correct,
so
you do the
it
change.
does not overwrite it, right?
It will. Okay,
Okay.
so if we see the address of both this employee, okay, both this data frame, so it is pointing to what? It is pointing to the same address.
Same
If I do
address.
changes in one of the data frame, it will be reflected in both the data frames. Okay, so let's say suppose we'll be dropping the another column that is company. Okay, so let's do this. And after that, we'll print both the data frames. Okay, copy this, paste it here. Let me copy this one, paste it here, paste it here, execute it. So see, employee information, did we drop that company column from the employee information? No, right?
No, sir.
But still it's got removed because both are pointing to what? Both are pointing to the same address. correct? So to avoid this, what we can do?
We can do the copy instead of equal to.
We can do the copy. Yes, that is correct. So there is one method, if you remember, we have used same method for the list and all, if you remember, right? So what we can do is there are two ways basically. This one dot copy is there, yeah. And let's, sorry, based on this, I'll be creating, or this is what, this one, I'll be creating this one. And I have to give PDF emp new is equal to this one, correct? Copy this, paste it here. I hope everyone is getting what we are trying to do here. If I print this one, it will create a new copy of it. And if we see the address of both the data frame, it should be different, right? Print ID of this, print the ID of this data frame. Okay, so execute it. So it's pointing to what? Different location.
Different locations, yes.
Okay. Similarly, but still there is something called, a kind of, when you create a copy of it, partially it is sharing the memory. It's not a fully new object. Okay, partially internally it is sharing the object, but it will not reflect the changes. If you do the changes in one data frame, it will not reflect into the another one. If you want to create a completely new data frame, okay, so how you can do this? This one is equal to pd dot data frame. So yesterday we have created, right? And we can simply pass this data frame name. That's it. And then
So creating data frame using another data frame will partially take the memory of that data frame.
see, this was the first way to copy the data frame. Okay, means this one we are simply assigning to this a kind of variable, but in this case, it is sharing it is at the same location. Means location is same, name is different. Okay, means in this case the location is same, name is different. It's kind of a copy. It is exactly sharing the same address, same memory location. So if I do the changes in one of the data frame, it will be, in another data frame, you will be able to see the changes. This is the first method. The second one is, this is what the second method to copy the data frame. This is the second method. In the second method, it will create a copy of new data frame. Okay. So it will point to the different memory address.
Address.
Yeah, it's a totally different memory address. If you see it here, it will create a copy of this and it will create it on a different location. Okay, it's a separate data frame. We are creating the copy of it. If you do the changes in one of the data frame, it will not reflected in another data frame. Okay, got it? But in this case, still it will, partially share the memory location. Okay. If you want to create a completely new data frame, this is another way, the third way to create a copy of it. It's a completely new data frame. Okay. So this is how you can create a new data frame. And this is also a copy of it. And if you see the address of this newly created data frame and this one, this will be again a different address will be clear है सबको Vanaja? Is it clear
Yes,
to
sir.
you?
Three methods we have, in which one the location address will be same for both of them, which we need to give is equal to symbol in between them. Then the other method is copy, which partially shares the memory address. This is the third one, which
There
completely creates a
is,
new data frame.
means it will create a new data frame, but there is something called a shallow memory address and all. So partially it will have a shared memory, but it will create a data frame on the different location.
Okay. That I am just confused that you're saying partially shared memory here in the third type also and in the second type also.
No,
Is
no,
it?
this is completely new data frame. There is
That's what. Here we will not share any same location.
anything,
Yes.
nothing.
That's what. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's completely new data frame. Okay, it's this one and this one. It's completely a different. As we creating the new data frame, right? Or similarly, it is creating the new data frame. Memory address is different. Here also it is different, but there is nothing common in both these data frames. Okay.
Got it, sir.
So which one is the optimized way? If it is using the shallow memory, then it will execute faster, right?
Yes. Therefore, yeah, the second one is the faster.
Okay.
Means, but depends on the scenario, depends on the requirement. We can use one of the methods. Uh,
If we
correct.
want to make changes in the only one copy, we should not do in the other copy, then obviously we need to go for the second or third.
Correct. Correct. Yes. Agree. Fine. I guess we are good. So we were discussing this drop, right? Let me do one thing. Let me copy this right here. Just comment it out this part. Let's comment it out this part. Let's print it. Okay, let's add some columns maybe. Hmm. Okay. And we were dropping the column, right? This one. And if I have to drop the multiple columns, I can give it in terms of list. And yeah, let's suppose there is a column that I want to drop this company as well as whatever city. You can give it here, paste it, and after dropping the column, you can simply print it. Okay, so both the columns got dropped. Okay, so the city as well as this one. So multiple columns, you can drop it using this way. Okay, fine. So we are good, right? Okay, rename the columns. How we can rename the columns? Okay, and if you want to drop the rows, okay, so columns we have seen. If you want to drop the rows, how you can do this? So based on this index value, if I have to drop it, the row, this is what it is, right? So suppose the row dot drop, same method is there. And here I have to give the label. Let's suppose if I say 2 and here the axis is equal to 0. I want to drop the rows, right? And that in place is equal to true means I want to do the changes in this data frame only. Okay, copy this and paste it. Row drop on print it to the new line. Let's print it. 8, 8. Okay. Yeah, you can see it, right? The second row is got dropped, correct? Yes or no? Okay. So we can drop the rows based on the values as well. We'll see that maybe in our upcoming session, how to delete the rows based on the values and all. Can I give the range here? To 5. Not found axis. Okay, it's taking it as axis label if I have to give. Okay, third one it's dropping, that is correct. But if I have to draw, okay. Okay. Index is equal to here if I say 0, 2, 3, 4. I can give the values in the index. If I have to drop the multiple rows, I can means we are dropping based on the index, right? So if I give the label here as a 0, 1, 2, it is dropping the single row, means kind of an index it's taking. But if you want to pass the multiple values, you can pass the multiple values here, the index. Okay. So can I give the range here? No, need to pass the multiple values. Okay, that's fine. So range I should be able to give. I think I should check that. Okay.
So after dropping, I again need to reset the index because the values are like 1, 2, 6, 7.
1, 2, 6, 7, right? Okay. If you want to reset this index, right?
Yes.
There is an option. There is an option index. There is an option. Okay. Index reset something. Some option is there. Okay. Okay. Let's see that option. We have that option. We'll see that, Devendra. We have one more scenario in that we'll see that there is one option not able to recall, but yes, we can reset this index with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, it will reset that index. Okay. Oh, there is one parameter I'm not able to drop. Let's see whether I have this drop method again. Data frame. You can if you want to explore it, just you can refer this website. Okay. Are you able to see the drop method? Data frame dot drop axis error in place. I think for this it is not there. Index is there, column is there, axis is there, label is there in place. For this it is not there. Will not reset the column. Yeah, for the drop method it is not there, but there should be something. I'll check. Okay, but in the drop it is not there. Okay, but if you see pd dot concat ignore index is there. So using this ignore index, we can ignore this index range. We'll see that. Okay. So Sorry. Okay. So you understood, right? How we can drop the rows based on this index, correct? Till this you're clear? But
Yes.
make sure that you are saying it as a 0, or else you can say it x is equal to rows. Okay, x is equal to rows. Even if you say x is equal to rows, it should drop the rows. Okay. Okay, fine. So drop the rows on multiple on range. That I have to check. You can check. You can also check. Okay. If I have to drop the index with the range, how we can do this, and also, yeah, reset the index value. Okay, this is you can also check it. That is not an issue. This is how you need to learn, because it is very difficult to go through this all these methods. So you should ask the question yourself. If I have to do this, how I can do this, and you need to explore it. Okay. This is how we should learn. Yeah. Drop the rows, drop the columns, and how we can rename it. What do you think? Rename the column. I want to change the column. Okay. So this is what our, okay, I don't want this one. Let's have this thing. Print of this. This is what the last data frame. Okay. How we can change the name of it? Name of the column. Okay, so what you can do is there is a method again. What is the method? Rename method. As like a insert, we have seen the insert method using which we can insert the column. We have a drop method using which we can drop the column, drop the rows, and we have a rename method as well. If you see the rename, okay, there is something called mapper and all that will ignore. Okay, so what you want to rename, whether you want to rename the index or whether you want to rename the, okay, is it after drop? Okay, so let me do one thing. We take this, copy and paste it here. Let's comment it up this part. You guys are getting, right? Every one of you, what we are doing here, the operations. Syntax, you will get it when you try, but you should get what we are doing, how we are doing. Okay, fine. So there is a rename method. Okay, so just copy this, paste it here, rename. What you want to rename? You want to rename the column, right? So column is there, columns is there, and in the columns, just provide what you want to rename. Okay, so let's suppose name is there, and you want to rename this name with what? A new name. Let's suppose employee name something. Okay, copy this, paste it here, execute it. So, okay, so why it is not changing? Any
In
guess?
In
place.
place. In place.
In place, correct. In place, we should have it as it true. Okay, see it here. A single column, if you want to rename the multiple columns, give the comma and pass the multiple values, correct? Give the comma and pass whatever you want to rename it. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, if you want to rename this index, means if you want to rename the label, what you can do is you need to say index, okay, is equal to what I want to change it 1 to emp1 something. Okay, let's do this. So it's changing what? This label, index value, correct? Got it right?
Yes, sir.
So apart from this, what all things are there? What all parameters are there? You need to go to the parameters, okay? It's difficult to cover all the parameters. Say rename, hit enter. You will get the parameters of the rename. DataFrame.rename. So mapper is there. You can ignore as of now. Index, we can change the name of the labels. Column, we can change the column name. In place, we have seen ignore. Is any error, you can say error is equal to ignore. Okay, means that column name is not there or something. So let's say suppose I'm renaming this part. Okay, so this one is there and I'm renaming this. Now name is not there, right? In this name is not there. If I try to rename it, it should. Okay. So if I say name 1234, okay, it's not there. It's not throwing an error. In which case it will throw an error. So if it is the error, it will, we can ignore that error. Okay. We need to check in which scenario, exactly in which scenario it will be working. Okay. Even if you go through this, if raise error, key error means dictionary like mapper index or the column contains a label that are not present in the index, transform ignore. Okay. But is ignore, this one is not that. Suppose I say this one. It okay, it's not renaming it. Okay, I'll check that. That is not an issue. So this is for the parameters for the rename. So we need to check that. Okay, so this is how we can rename the columns or rename the value of, we can rename the label. Okay, and what is there? Insert a row. Okay, so just take it as homework. Okay, how we can change that. How we can insert a row into existing data frame. Okay, if you observe, we are doing the same operation that we were doing performing on the SQL table, means a DDL operations or create a data frame. Okay, to change the name of data frame. So kind of when we create a copy of it, indirectly we are changing the name of it, correct? So the change the name of rename, alter means add the columns, change the data type of the columns, alter. Okay. Then drop. If I want to drop the entire data frame, if I want to drop the columns, if I want to rename the columns, a kind of a DDL operation. So when we say modify the existing columns, insert the row into columns. So this is the DML operations basically. If you relate these things, okay. So insert the rows into our columns and have to insert multiple rows into data frame. Okay, so this one you can have it like take it as a homework and work. Okay. Okay, I guess we are good for the day. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, fine. We ran out of time. We should stop here. Okay, fine. Do you have any questions, guys? Anything that you want to ask? Fine, no worries.